I would like to give Chad an opportunity to talk about where people can go if they feel
Yep.
the need to reach out for help because of domestic violence or sexual assault. I think it's uncomfortable and awkward and weird, and no one likes to talk about it, and it's incredibly needed. Um,
Yep.
There is a stream of resources going to every state that provides for services at the local level for domestic violence and sexual assault. And so if you live in a rural place in the United States, it may not be as close as you'd like it to be, but within in most places, like within a few minutes, well, like a reasonable in-city drive, or at the most like a few hours, if you live in a real rural place, there is either a rape crisis center, which specifically focuses on people who've experienced sexual assault, or a domestic violence organization, which, some sort of intimate partner violence, or both. And sometimes the one nonprofit will do both things, right? And so that's a great thing, and that's not something that happens really anywhere else in the world. Most, even kind of like fairly advanced European countries, don't have the kind of dedicated funding that we have in the United States. And the reason why we have that funding is because of 20 years of activism. Feminist activists, the most feminist activists you can think of, creating those funding, creating the political will to create that funding, and then distribute that funding. And so if you're someone who's experienced sexual assault or domestic violence, the easiest way for you is to call the National for Sexual Assault. There's a National Sexual Assault Hotline. It's run by RAINN, which you may have heard of. That's an acronym, RAINN, which is the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network. They have a 1-800 number, which I don't remember, but you can put in the notes for this blog.
Yep, we will.
Yes, they also do online chat. They have so they have a website. If you,
I was going to ask. I know a lot of people they've just been through a huge crisis. The last thing they want to do is talk to someone on the phone,
right?
Because that can be its own. So there is also a website that they can go to, and we'll link that.
Yeah. And RAINN was actually one of the first nonprofits to get into that non-online chat space. Now, RAINN is a referral service primarily. So RAINN will, ask you where you live, and then it will connect you to a rape crisis center in your area. And they might do provide you with some initial help on the phone or on chat, during that pathway. There's a National Domestic Violence Hotline, and they do pretty much the same thing. They do online chat. Because I spent most of my time working on the sexual assault side of things, I don't know everything yet as well as I used to, or on the DV side as well as the sexual assault side. But it's basically parallel. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is basically parallel to RAINN. And they will help you to find a shelter if you're looking for shelter, or someone to talk to if you're looking for someone to talk to. The nonprofit that I work for, the National Network to End Domestic Violence, we're kind of like the association for associations. So there's part of that funding that comes from the federal government, that came from the Violence Against Women Act, is for every state to have a state-based association for all the rape crisis centers and domestic violence agencies in that state. And that actually helps every state to kind of have organized policies and organized services throughout that state. And NEDV, and also there's two actually national DV associations. And NEDV, the one I work for is one of them. We're basically like the federal policy representative of all the different states in DC. And the project I work on actually is focused on technology and abuse. So we help advocates at a local level understand how technology is being used in intimate partner violence, so that they can have the tools and resources that they need to work with survivors who are being abused through the computer, or through their phone, or through social media, or through stalkerware, or through all sorts of other things. And also we do the reason why I mentioned NDAs earlier is because we do a lot of corporate consulting and to help corporations understand how their products and their policies could be better and less harmful.